Okay, let's get right into it. We're talking about one of the most successful people on the planet, a true empire builder, who is apparently hesitating to sign a single piece of paper, a document that's designed to protect everything she's ever built. And it brings up this huge, fascinating question about love, money, and power. First things first, just look at this number. Let it sink in. $1.4 billion. This isn't just a pile of cash, it's a massive global enterprise. The stakes in what seems like a personal decision are just astronomically high, which is exactly why her hesitation is so interesting. And that's really the heart of the matter, isn't it? Why would someone with so much to lose even pause when it comes to protecting it all? Well, the answer, as you're about to see, is way more complicated than just signing on the dotted line. Yeah, because this isn't really about law. What we're actually looking at is this collision of trust, personal ambition, and of course, the insane pressure of being in the public eye. It's a decision where every single choice gets magnified 1,000,000 times over. You know, in that kind of world, a contract just stops being a contract. It becomes this loaded, symbolic statement. Is it a shield to protect what you've built? Or is it a sword? Is it a vote of confidence in your future or a vote of no confidence? That's the real weight behind this decision. So to really get the hesitation here, we have to look at the kind of wealth we're talking about, because the complexity, it starts right there. This is an empire, not just a bank account. See, we're not talking about something simple like splitting up a bank account or a few houses. Rihanna's wealth is this living, breathing ecosystem of intellectual property, brand deals, and actual ownership in a massive company like Fenty. It's dynamic, it's always moving, and that makes protecting it exponentially harder. And here's the most crucial point. Her brand is her identity. They're one and the same. So any legal agreement that touches her business is basically touching her legacy and her whole sense of self. It's a deeply personal negotiation that's just disguised as a financial one. So let's talk about the actual document at the center of all this, a post-nuptial agreement. To really understand the dilemma, we kind of have to bust some of the common myths about what these contracts are really for in a situation like this. I mean, this is what everyone thinks, right? That signing one of these is basically admitting you're already planning the divorce. But honestly, in the world of modern celebrity empires, that's just a really outdated and way too simple way of looking at it. The reality is actually much more strategic. For a company like Fenty, a post-nup is less about divorce and more like a business continuity plan. It's not about anticipating heartbreak, it's about making sure a global company stays stable. It's about stopping a small personal disagreement from spiraling into a multi-million-dollar business nightmare. And believe me, these contracts are evolving at lightning speed. They now cover things that would have sounded like pure science fiction just a decade ago. We're talking clauses on how you behave on social media, limits on a partner's future involvement in the business, even figuring out who owns your AI likeness or your assets in the metaverse. It is a whole new frontier for protecting your wealth. But here's the thing. This decision isn't being made in a bubble. There are these huge external forces at play that just add layer after layer of difficulty, making this about so much more than just two people in a relationship. Just think about it for a second. First, Fenty is a global brand, which means you're trying to navigate this legal maze of property laws from dozens of different countries. Second, having kids completely changes the game. You're talking about inheritance, guardianship, their entire future. And third, your partner's own legal issues, like ASAP Rocky's, can create real risks that you have to account for. It's an incredibly delicate high-wire act. And the risks of getting this wrong, they are very, very real. There's this cautionary tale that everyone in Hollywood knows about, an actress who put off these hard conversations. A sudden divorce didn't just end her marriage, it completely fractured her production company. And the public fallout from it all damaged her brand for years. For Rihanna, you have to imagine the stakes are even higher. Which brings us to the final and, maybe the most important piece of this whole puzzle, the deeply human, emotional part at the heart of this billion-dollar problem. This quote from a family law attorney, it just says everything. The lawyers can argue all day about valuation models and intellectual property rights, but for the couple themselves, the real negotiation is about trust, about vulnerability, and about the future that they actually see together. And this is something we can all understand, right? It's a universal feeling. I mean, we've all avoided a tough conversation just to keep the peace. Now, just imagine that feeling, but magnify it to the scale of a global superstar. The desire to protect the harmony of your family can feel so much more urgent than protecting a billion-dollar spreadsheet. So, why does a high-stakes celebrity story like this even matter to the rest of us? Well, because it's a huge version of a trend we are all dealing with. Our assets aren't just cash in the bank anymore. They are our side hustles, our digital content, our personal brands. The lines between our finances, our identities, and our relationships are getting blurrier for absolutely everyone. And that really leaves us with the true billion-dollar question, one that goes way beyond any celebrity headline. In a world where our lives and our assets are so tangled up together, how do any of us find that right balance between protecting ourselves and trusting our partners? That's the calculation we're all trying to make.